I'm Pat, and we're joined also by Chris. And along with Mike, we make up Under the Sun Sports. Your
I,
world famous.
you've probably heard of us.
Yeah,
No,
you probably
Yeah.
we actually follow him.
Yeah.
He's a Twitter
Following on
follower.
Twitter.
kind
Following on
of a big
Twitter. Yep.
deal. So
He's a
Pat's one of
supporter.
our 21 followers. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we're
Exciting.
growing. When it grows, you'll say you were on the first.
For sure.
Do that.
Get
If
me on
you
the
follow
ground.
us, you could end up on the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to do like a special giveaway for like our first 100 followers. We'll do something like that.
Yeah.
Pick someone out random and give them
Nice.
something cool.
T-shirt or something. What are we thinking here?
Yeah, it's probably an old golf club or something. Whatever we got lying around. So we got a special show tonight, and we got some Sixers talk on the docket, and we got some heated fantasy football talks. But first, we got a special guest here. We got Pat Corbett on, and he is going to walk us through a little bit of the experience of getting kind of inside the NBA bubble from a digital way. We kind of debated this, Mike, Chris, and I, about like not debate, but like we were wondering like how's this go about, like how do you even get in there? So if you want to just tell us a little bit about like how did you even get like for those of you, for our listeners out there, he was actually one of the digital fans at the Sixers game, right? One of the Sixers games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we're looking to hear basically how did you go about getting in there? What is that process? How's the sign up? Like how does that even work?
Yeah. So my dad is a season ticket holder, actually. So they sent him an email offering for him to be a virtual fan. But he's like 60 years old. He's not interested in that. So he forwarded it to me and my brother. So we signed up through his link. And all we had it was like a pretty easy sign up. We just put our name, email, and stuff like that. And then like an hour before the game, they sent us an email giving us like directions we had to download. It wasn't Zoom. It was like some type of video chat. And they just gave us a bunch of directions on like what we had to do, what we had to wear, stuff like that. So pretty easy sign up. But I think mostly they probably give season ticket holders like the first opportunity. Who knows? Maybe they'll open it up to regular fans after that. But
I was gonna say
that's how I got in.
it's just a season ticket holder thing for now. Like you can't just.
I mean, I haven't looked into it too much. I know that's how he got. He got that email from his season ticket holder rep. So, maybe
give it to anybody.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I think he could forward that to anyone because I signed up using my personal email and I'm not a season ticket holder or anything. So I think they send out the link to the season ticket holders, and then from there, I guess it could go to anyone.
What was it? You mentioned the email they send you that tells you like what to wear and that type of stuff. What was in that email? Like, what are you supposed to wear?
So they said in the email you weren't allowed to wear any logos except for the Sixers logo. So I don't know.
So, like I couldn't wear this Nike hat or something. Like that.
Maybe you could wear a Nike hat. I think are they a sponsor of the NBA? Is the NBA jerseys Nikes?
I think so.
I don't know what they are actually.
Were they? I don't know.
They were. I think they're Nike now, though.
I feel like they mean like other teams. I guess.
Yeah, I think like other teams, I guess, like they don't want people like promoting their own brands,
yeah.
like stuff like that. Like they don't want it to be like a free advertisement. I think I don't think they were vetting super closely. It's not like they looked at everyone when they came in, but that was kind of.
I assume they don't want like a bunch of like Celtics fans to somehow bombard. They're trying to make it like as much of a home game as they can, and that's really, really difficult to do without having people in person. But like, yeah, it would suck to get a bunch of Celtics fans as like digital fans of a Sixers game.
Yeah, for sure.
What was it like during the game? Like, how do you view? Can you see yourself? Are you like viewing the game on a TV and then also seeing yourself on the computer? Like, how's that work?
Yeah, so the way it worked was that it was like a Zoom call, and you can see like all the different screens at once. So like I can see my screen, I can see your screen, everyone else. One of those screens is the screen like that you'd watch on TV, so it would be the game screen. And so the way they tell you to do it is to pin that screen as like the permanent, I guess like the bigger screen, and then you'd have like the smaller screens down at the bottom with the other fans. So it's actually kind of cool. They had there's like 4 different sections. So each of those big screens, like on the side of the court, you can see there are 3 of them. I guess it would be 5, and then 1 on each baseline. That's your section. So you'll stay with those same people throughout the game. So, I ended up getting ejected in the second quarter, but the rest of those guys, my brother was with them. They were all like chatting the whole game about like like what was going on and stuff. So That's kind of how
Tell
they
us
like
about the ejection.
Well, that's
well.
Might be a story there.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So personally, I think a well-timed shirt off is one of the funniest things that you could do. And so I didn't plan on this going into the game necessarily, but I saw myself on the big screen during foul shots. And like, you know, usually during foul shots, they kind of keep the same camera angle and like they just kind of let it unfold. And so I just like, it just popped into my mind. I was a few beers deep and I was like, fuck it, shirts off. I can curse, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Sure, yeah.
All right, yeah.
fine.
I was like,
No one listens, though.
fair enough. I was like, fuck it, shirts off. And I pull the shirt off and I see myself on the screen and I'm waving my arms around just to try to get as much attention as possible. Because like the Magic were shooting foul shots. So they could like, you know, if you're shooting foul shots and you have a virtual fan back there with his shirt off, like that's got to be at least a little distracting, right?
Yeah.
You're doing it for the team.
That's true.
Yeah, I was taking one for the team, but the camera stayed on me for a lot longer than I anticipated. So I kind of ran out of content. But anyway, in the chat as this is going on, they have an NBA employee in there, and he's messaging me like, "You got to put your shirt on, dude. Like, I don't want to kick you out, but I will." I'm not paying attention to the chat, and so before I even realized he had kicked me out, I tried to join back in, wouldn't let me. But
Is this bode poorly for your dad's season tickets? Are they gonna like trace this back and be like,
well, here's
On
the thing: is
your
that
record now?
I don't think they can even trace that back to him because I use my own email. So
oh, it's true.
Yeah.
like I don't really see what the link would be there. I mean, maybe if they dug real deep and saw my last name, but like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think they really care that much.
Here's a question: if you had seen the chat, would you have cut your losses, put the shirt back on, and wrote it out, or do you like the fact that you got kicked out?
You see, that's the thing is that how many people in the world can say they've been ejected from a virtual NBA basketball game?
You're probably the only one.
Yeah.
I might be the only one.
It's impressive.
So that's something I can take to my grave. I could say I'm the only person to be ejected from a virtual basketball game.
So far.
Ultimately, it's no cost. And, you know, to be honest, I'm too big of a pussy to get ejected from a real sporting event because the second an usher confronts me about anything, I'm like, yes, sir, I'll take a seat. I'll shut up, whatever. But, you know, this jabroni was just shooting me messages online. So, like, I wasn't going to listen to him. So it might be the first and last time I ever get ejected. We'll see about that. But I think no regrets. I'm glad I did what I did. I stand by my decision. I think it was pretty funny.
I don't know if you saw, but there was a girl at the Heat game who flashed twice on, and it got
Really?
on TV. And I'm just saying they didn't kick her out.
And
So,
now,
I'm a little bit curious why they let her stay.
Yeah.
now
you got
I got a question here. When was this Heat game? Was this before or after that Sixers game? Because I might have been a trendsetter.
I don't know when your
if I said
Sixers game was. When was
I
that?
feel like it was
That
before.
was last Friday. So that
All
was
right,
like,
so it's probably right around the same time. I'm gonna look and see if I
You
can
guys
find.
plan this? Do you know each other?
we don't know each other, but she might be stealing my swag here. I mean,
Oh, good.
I was looking pretty good up there.
While
So
you look that up, see when it was. Here's another question: how accurate is the screen that you're watching versus the actual television game? Like, is Tobias draining a three and you're not finding out until like 15 seconds later, and your reaction's all delayed, or like what is that like?
well, actually, the screen that I was seeing was about 30 seconds in advance. So
Oh,
me and my brother, we were doing some dumb shit on screen, and then we would have the game on in the background, and we'd go and film ourselves on the regular TV. So there's a clip of me. Some reporter or someone, he like clipped me taking my shirt off, and he tweeted it out, and like my younger sister found it. I didn't even know she had a Twitter account, but she ends up texting me this Twitter clip. And you can see me at the very end. When I see it on TV, I'm watching for me to pop on. I run out of the shot so I can film on TV. So we were actually like 30 seconds ahead. So I guess like,
that's like anything you did, you could capture it.
yeah, exactly. So like, it was actually a perfect scenario because I got to like look ahead to see when I'd be on TV so I could get ready to film it and everything. So yeah, it was a pretty cool experience.
I like that.
You know, all things considered.
So I gotta admit, I was trying to look it up, and I like went to type in my phone and realized I really have no idea what to type in to find that. I was like, heat,
Yeah.
boobs, flashing, like,
Heat boobs.
all, and then some stuff was coming up, and I was like, you know
Yeah.
what, this is probably not going to get me the answer I'm looking for. quick enough to say on our show.
Let's just say you were first.
On that.
Yeah, we'll just
Yeah.
say I was first. I was the trendsetter here.
I have a hard time believing she wasn't kicked out.
Yeah.
Well,
You were-
here's the thing: is that I kept my shirt off for probably another 5-10 minutes after that. So it wasn't like right away. I think the guy must have been like sort of scrolling through the crowd here, making sure everyone was following the rules. So maybe if she was like quick with it, like it could have gotten,
That's
it could have
true.
slipped through the cracks. But like I said earlier, I was kind of, I was open to the idea of getting kicked out. It's a pretty cool title to have. The first guy to be ejected from a virtual basketball game. I mean,
That's what I'm gonna put in the headline of this.
Yeah.
That's gonna draw people in.
yeah, for sure.
So, like, was that your one shot, or like, as a season ticket holder, does he have access to go to like multiple of these? I mean, there's not even that many left now, but
Yeah, that's a good question. He hasn't sent me, he hasn't offered for us to go on again. I'd kind of imagine that, during playoffs, maybe they do something where they give him another shot. So if they do give him another shot, keep your eye out because I'll be there shirts off again.
I was gonna say, are you going tarps off for another time?
Yeah.
Try
Oh,
it.
for sure. I mean, there might be other people who've been ejected once. I think if I can get ejected twice, that's pretty safe to say I'm the only one to be a 2-time
Your goals
eject
keep
out of a
climbing
bubble.
here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to be the best ever here. I'm not, best virtual fan of all time.
so Chris and Mike, I noticed that I just got a good question from Pat as his response was good question, and I feel like as we start to bring guests on the show, we need to keep a counter of those. So I'm winning 1-0 in the good question.
Oh, I get it. Okay, you got a good.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. I feel
Whenever
like
you ask a question, your guest says good question. That's going on the board.
all right, that's fine. I feel like Ken might have given one last time. We'll have to go back and see.
We'll look at the film.
We'll look at the film. We'll go back and see. But all right, you're winning, I guess.
All right. Well, any other questions you guys got for Pat while we got him on here?
Real quick, I just just real quick basketball note. Sixers have been kind of unlucky with some injuries here. What do you see going forward? Are they cooked?
This season, yeah, I think they're cooked for sure. I really don't think Al Horford and Josh Richardson were a good fit for the team. Hopefully maybe they could get off of Al Horford's contract. I think Richardson should be easy to move and then reload for next year. I think as long as Simmons and Embiid are here, they got a shot. Like those are two of the top 15 players in the league. So that's kind of all you need.
You do want them both back. You wouldn't entertain any trade or pursue any trades for either one of them?
I mean, it would have to be a crazy deal. I think Embiid is the one guy I would keep like for sure. I don't think there's anyone in the league I would obviously like if someone were to come and say, I'll give you Luka Doncic, like I'll be like, all right, I'll trade him for him or like Harden or someone like that. But I think Embiid is the one I would hold on to over Simmons, but I really want both of them back. I think I think it's possible to build around him if you get the right pieces, but so far, like the front office, I think has done a pretty poor job of, building a team around those guys. But we'll see what happens. I think Shake Milton, he could be something. I guess it's a wait and see for now. I don't think they're doing much this year though.
And how do you feel about Brett? Do you feel like he gets a little bit more time, or do you think his time is up and we need to start looking?
So I think his time is up, but I hope it's not. I don't think he's really the problem here. I think I don't think the roster is really built to, for the league today. Like we don't have shooters, we don't have ball handlers, we just have a bunch of big dudes clogging up the paint. Like if you look at the way the NBA is moving, like that's not it. And so like it kind of feels to me like he's sort of been dealt like a pretty tough hand. He might not be the best coach in the league, but I don't think he's the problem here. And I think he's a good guy. So I want him to stick around. But like I said, we'll see. I think he's probably on his way out, especially like given the way they're playing.
I wonder how much patience people are going to still have with him. I feel like people have been talking about on his way out for the last 3-4 years, and he's stuck around, and he's been I feel like, good enough to not get fired, but has not really, gotten to that next level. So it's an interesting point.
I think these injuries buy him another year.
Thanks. I hope so.
Don't too much, Chris. You got another segment to go.
That's true. I'll shut up.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it buys him some time, but like, based off of the way they were playing even before these injuries, like they weren't great. But like I said, I don't think the pieces were in place for him to really be super successful this year. But I don't think the front office is going to look in the mirror and say, you know what, maybe that was our fault. Maybe we put together a bad team. I think it'll be easier for them to just be like, you know what, Brett, like your time's up. You've been here for, I guess now he's going on 6-7 years. But I think they're probably going to cut ties with Brett Brown. But I don't think that's really going to solve much. So honestly, I have a pretty pessimistic outlook for the Sixers going forward. But, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they can turn it around. We'll see.
Yeah, good insight. So there we have it. We have Pat's expertise on Sixers. He says if he's Elton Brand, he is getting rid of Al, Josh, trying to keep Simmons, Embiid. He's going to keep Brett, but he thinks they might let him go, and he's not super confident. And on the next segment, we're going to hear what Mike, Chris, and myself have in plan for the Sixers. I think we might all have some differing views. So tune in. You guys are going to have to check it out. A special thanks to our guest for this little segment, Pat. We appreciate you being on and sharing your bubble story there, your virtual bubble story.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me, guys. It was a good time.
Thanks for coming, Pat. Appreciate it, man.
For sure.
And you'll have to be our first recurring guest, so we'll get you back on here in a few weeks or something.
Gladly. After I get ejected, hopefully in the playoffs.
We'll have you on after every ejection.
Yeah. Every time. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Sure. Anytime you guys want me, I'll be here.
That's awesome.
Sounds good.
All right. See you, buddy.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Under the Sun Sports, stay hot.